Greetings and aloha. What's going on? It is Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com, along with my very, very, very beautiful, bald, very, very good friend.
Counterpart. Robbie from Walking in My Shoes.
Thailand.
Thailand. Yes, thank you. Back in Bangkok, baby. Back in Bangkok.
And that is going to be the topic, guys. Remember, if you watched last week, which if you didn't, then I'm sorry, you're lame. However, you probably say, oh, yeah, they're going to take a break because Robbie's going to be on a plane. No, not the case. Robbie is so wealthy. If you look in the background, you can tell that he's in one of those suites on a Qatar Airlines flight. He's actually got a king-size bed right there. Queen size, actually. Okay, so he's one notch down. And because carry-on is so light, he actually threw Kitty in his carry-on, and so she's there with him. And we decided, hey, he's back in Bangkok. We're going to talk about that. Because you were in the Philippines for our last broadcast.
Yeah, so definitely. So Robbie with Walking My Shoes, Thailand. So Mike, we're going to talk about back in Bangkok. Be sure to take a look. If you're a subscriber to my channel, great. I hope you can. Take a look at the past week's videos. It's going to give you all the details of what I did in the Philippines. So yes, I just flew back in to Bangkok yesterday. So from the Philippines.
And what's the first message you sent me?
I'm home. Oh,
thank God.
Yeah, I'm home or something like that.
And that's, great. I got to tell you, I mean, you and I have both made the statement, I'm not a big city guy, but I love Bangkok, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I said. Can I just say, I'm back. Explanation point, OMFG. So if we're allowed to say the fuck word on here, there we go.
There we go.
If I get
no
beeped
edits,
out,
baby.
Mike, sorry. All right, no edits live on this video.
Sorry,
there
Mom.
we go. Glad I'm back. And you guys, it's not that I didn't like the Manila or the Philippines. It's just, man, when you come to Bangkok, you come to Thailand, it changes your world. It rocks your world.
I think that, I mean, again, no one's going to be watching our live stream if they hate Thailand. They'll be, screw you. Australia's number one. All right, well, then you'll probably watch one live stream and you'll move on. But, I mean, so obviously we have arguably some degree of confirmation bias. But the point is that you and I are similar. And you are going through a transition, a path. You're going through a migration, basically. To the east, head east, young man.
That's right.
From the West Coast. And so, but what we wanted to talk about today is absolutely what we got going on here, guys, back in Bangkok. As a brief reminder, this morning show that Robbie and I are embarking on is basically brought to you by The Spot. And the Spot logo is up there. And right now we are streaming on Walking in My Shoes. We're streaming on LiveMyAssOff.com. And we are absolutely streaming on the Spot YouTube channel, which we'll put a link to in the description below, which you can check out. But also, don't forget, this is a premiere. So please type your messages in the chat, and we will be there to answer them to the best of our ability. And also, if you're joining us after the live stream, please feel free to, after the live stream premiere, please feel free to put your comments down below, specifically, of course, as it relates to this show, about Robbie being back in Bangkok. So what do you say we start off with a little bit of a timeline? Like, you're leaving Manila. Tell us and walk us through like the process of you just, finishing up what you were going to do there and coming to Thailand relative to as the moments get closer to you getting on the plane and to you getting tell me about like the feelings. Like, what was it like, man?
So, in the morning of the day of my travel, I get up pretty darn early. After a very long night in Manila, I went over to Makati, I guess. Makati? How do you say it? Makati. Yeah.
Actually, this is probably a good time to introduce everyone to your new nickname. Because Robbie and I are talking about, the way he pronounces it. He goes, oh, dude, I'm going to butcher this. So, starting today, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's name is Robbie the Butcher. And
that's it.
If you don't pay attention to the show, you're going to think, what is he like meat, chopping it up? It's like, no.
No, I'm not a murderer of people, but of names, definitely.
Yeah.
Robbie, definitely a murderer
the Butcher.
Of names.
So, okay, Makati, right. Robbie the Butcher.
Makati. There it is, Makati. In which that's a whole show in itself for sure. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. But basically, get up in the morning early, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So, guys, I really don't like flying. I have a fear of flying. I hate it, but I know to get to the place where I want to be, you have to do it. I live in my home was in California. So I have about a week scheduled here in Bangkok with Kitty, and we're communicating back and forth with the mobile app Line. Be sure to download it. It's a great app to have.
For sure.
It's LINE, the green line.
Very Thailand.
Very Thailand. Very much. Yeah, it's a South Korean app. Anyways, so emotions. So, guys, my flight wasn't supposed to leave till 5:40. I was at the airport by 11:40. So I know, I can admit it.
Because of the amazing Wi-Fi in the Manila airport. False.
Yeah, and that was horrible.
Oh,
and
so bad.
Oh gosh, it was bad. And so I sit there in Manila airport, and I'm thinking, why did I come early? And I'm like, you know what? I got a seat to sit on.
Right.
Because there are no extra chairs in Manila airport. Just so you guys know, it's very, very limited. You're standing up.
It's very crowded.
So I'm flying Asian Air. Of course, Asian Air, by the way, doesn't have permanent kiosks over at Manila Airport. So if you didn't, what that means is you don't go to a spot and it's Asian Air. You have to hunt it down.
Air Asia, just so we know.
Air Asia.
Robbie the Butcher.
There it is.
Asian all right, Air. Robbie the Butcher.
Yeah, it's all right. So I ended up meeting a gal there who found a chair for me, a fairly large Philippine woman who speaks awesome English. She'd probably be she's my Philippine girlfriend all of a sudden.
Perfect.
I tell you,
love it.
She was totally rad. Sat me down and she goes, "You're pretty early." I go, "Yep, I'm pretty early." And by the way, guys, immigration is a pain in the neck in the Philippines. There's no doubt about it. Coming back into the airport, you got to wait in line. And now, I don't know if you knew this, Mike. You've done the whole airport at that international. You have to wait in that line that goes all the way outside and down the sidewalk.
Yeah, and you got to give him your board, your pass, basically.
What the hell?
I know. And then they X-ray all. Walk us through that joy.
Right, but the cool thing is, in 2019, 2020, when I did a Philippine trip, I learned my lesson. And there's this side door. So basically, you enter in Terminal 3, and then there's 6 gate doors you can go into, and then the line is out door number 3, and they're like,
down the
guys are pointing over. Down the sidewalk, and it's a long, slow-moving line.
Totally.
Here you go, guys. Here's a great golden tip. Go to the very last door, door 6. It's exactly the same thing. There is no freaking line.
Yeah.
There's 4 guys sitting around playing video games on their phone.
Pretty much.
They looked at me, looked at my passport, looked at the ticket, and I was in, and I'm like, sweet.
Yes.
Then I found my very pleasant Filipina, sat down, wrapped out with her. She kept offering me food, which I thought was awesome. Oh yeah, she wanted to feed me, and we're hanging out right by where Air Asia or
there you go
right now. Yeah, Asian Air Asia is hanging out, and I look at her and I said, "Do I need to really stand in line?" She goes, "This is Manila." Rolls her eyes back like she's being very sarcastic, guys. It's pretty funny. And then I handed her phone. So to deal with these Filipinas, it's okay just to kind of be, I guess, harassing, go right in front of her face. I go, "Look." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, if you step over there, you should be good to go."
To check in, you mean? I don't...
Because you have to have a hard copy to check in. You have to have a piece of paper to board the airplane. You cannot use your phone for Air Asia.
God, I guess, yeah. Okay.
That's right. They have the thing. Amazing. I got my QR code. Got my QR code. I'm thinking, I don't need to be sitting here. I could just go in through security and get my snacks.
Yeah, because you're not checking any bags, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, right.
So, but they don't do that there.
Welcome to 1970, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to 1970.
Piece of paper.
So, even though I had the QR code, once they opened up the area where people would check in, which is 3 hours before boarding. So again, remember I showed up at 11:40.
Attaboy.
So we're at like 2:40 now.
Right. Well, thank God you got into the buildings so quickly.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. It was crazy. So, but I was excited. I'm
Sure.
totally
Right.
excited. I'm
Which is the
chatting with
point.
Kitty, who's just arrived in Bangkok, waiting for me at the hotel.
Mm.
And yeah, it was really awesome. Get to the part where I'm going to check in. I get past security, all that kind of stuff. Again, have your passport ready to go. The more prepared you are, the better off you'll be. Just have it in your
Yeah.
hand, and here you go.
Right.
You know, don't leave anything for them to ask you questions. And it was easy peasy getting through, and it was emotionally draining and awesome at the same time. So yeah, got on the airplane, and I hate flying. Took my drugs, so I took some Ativan
Right.
to calm this boy down.
Sure.
And because Air Asia, they don't have TVs on those darn planes. There's no screens.
It is.
There's not even. What
there
the
is
heck?
there is low budget airlines, and then there is ultra low budget airlines.
This
and
is pretty low, man.
Air Asia is, but I mean, again, you didn't fly them because you were like, oh, great, I've only got $500. I think I'll fly this one way. You know, it's super cheap, and but
I flew them because they're available.
Yeah.
And the cool thing, and there's only 80 people on the flight, so it wasn't even half full. And I was in the very front seat, and I just pretty much edited videos for 3.5 hours.
You just chilled out. Now, before you got on, obviously this is a big question, and it's still one of these very popular, you know, keyword search things that you'll notice in YouTube, right? What do you need? What are the requirements? What are the traveling requirements? So you show up at the airport and you're flying to Thailand from the Philippines. What was required other than, of course, you buying a ticket?
I needed my passport and my laminated COVID
vaccination card, effectively. Okay.
Yeah. That was it.
And did you need to actually check in then to Air Asia with those documents so they could give you documentation to do the next step? Okay. Because obviously the way that you travel, which a lot of people are like, oh my God, I wish I could just travel with a backpack, is you print out your boarding pass, or you get your boarding pass on your phone. But for the sake of argument, we'll just call it print your boarding pass. You walk into the airport, you walk right to the gate. You're like, literally, dude, I could show up 17 minutes before the plane leaves, in theory.
That's right.
If I didn't have to go through immigration, if I didn't have to do any of that.
Or security.
Or security, which is a total nightmare in the Philippines too. So once you got to Bangkok, what was the experience there? And then, of course, share the feelings when you do you have a window? Do you have a window seat? Are you a window seat guy or an aisle guy?
Dude, I hate flying, so I had to sit on the aisle. And there was no one in the first 10 rows.
Okay.
Because I bought the upgraded ticket to sit at the very front of the plane
which is like $7 more.
It was like 10 or 15 bucks more.
And you're sitting there going, why isn't everyone up? Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be in the back of the plane, and
it's bumpier.
It's bumpier and a crazy odor, and I didn't want to go through that. So,
so you're coming in. They're like, okay, you can feel the plane descending. You're 30 minutes from touchdown. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your soul?
Well, because I hate flying, I'm like, please land safely. But really, I understand the question. So right before we touched down, man, it's kind of, how could I express it? It's kind of like the second time happening again, because I've been here now 5 times.
Right.
It's like the second time happening again because I suffered from Thailand blues the first time.
Right.
So it's like the second time all over again, how giddy you are.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, I'm home. And guys, I don't even like the big city, but I love Bangkok.
Yep.
And I'm happy to be home. And I knew I had a beautiful Thai gal waiting for me. I knew Bangkok was waiting. Actually, Bangkok doesn't wait for anybody. It's going.
No, it's moving.
Yeah, it's moving. And get off the airplane. I'm still a little drugged up, but you know the rush is happening. And then me being confident in the Thailand way, I don't just don't pick any cat taxi or Bolt. I get on a regular city bus. I go to the bus stop and I'm like, hey, I want to go to Siam. Boom, okay. They're like, bus A1.
I was going to say, you got on A1? Nice.
Yeah, bus A1. Yeah. And then you get to Chitmon and pop on the BTS, and I was at my stop.
Dude, we're talking Bangkok. Dude. You are Bangkokian. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, I took the A1 to Chitlum and double-clicked on the BTS, and bam, there I am at Siam.
And I was there in 100
Friggin'
baht,
awesome.
right?
Yeah,
Rather
no,
than paying
totally.
600 baht, I was there at 100, and it's fast.
Yes.
And I'm excited. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
as I pull into where I'm staying at, I text Kitty and I say, Kitty, come on down. I'm here. And she's down here
Right.
waiting for me, waiting to grab my bags. And then like, dude, you're like,
No,
you know, 50-kilo woman. I think I'll
Right.
grab my own bags.
Here's my 30
And
kilo bag.
yeah, here's my 30. Exactly. That's exactly right. And pretty much I got in and I was pretty much racked out by 9:40. I was so tired. I couldn't go tour Bangkok, but I was getting up early. But
Which,
anyways,
to be fair, that's kind of that's a nice way to get back because you're so friggin' excited, right? And then you're like, okay, but I gotta tomorrow I'll start early and everything will be great. Obviously, another question that comes up, I'm sure you get these in your comments. What was Thai immigration like? So you get, because you to be fair, you landed in Don Muang, which is the older original airport. It's not as sexy. Arguably, it's a little bit less efficient. But it still has all of the infrastructure necessary. So you get off the plane and you're coming up to immigration. It was what, about 10 p.m.?
8:40. So we were 15 minutes early. So we get landed at 8:35.
Which is rare for Air Asia. So that's
we were 15 or 16 minutes
give
early.
Them credit for that.
Yeah.
And then the line, like, what was the line like? What was any questions they asked you, or are they just like, oh yeah,
Great question. Well, again, so I was at the front of the plane, and that was done on purpose because when I get off the plane, I don't have to wait for bags.
Yeah,
the overhead bin, I'm on my shoulders, and I'm boogieing out of there. And that's with intent, guys. It was worth the 15 extra bucks just to get out, less than 15.
Right.
Be first, get out. I hit up to immigration, and it was super, super fast. I get up there. It's probably a woman who's 4 foot tall.
Sure.
Super huge smile. They always don't smile, but this one did from ear to ear.
That's good.
And all I did is I look at her. I had my documents. I placed them under the window, took off my hat and my mask. So they can do the picture. And I don't think she said one word to me. Like not even how. Oh, she did say, "How long are you staying in Bangkok?" Or "How long are you staying in Thailand?" And I said, "I leave, unfortunately, in a week." And she's like, "Okay." Stamp, 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 picture, picture, picture. Just handed me the documents back. Didn't say a word after that. And Mike, that was it. I walked out. I was on the bus stop. The bus just pulled up as I was getting on, which was 20 baht. No, 30 baht. It's 30, to take the bus.
The Chitlum,
How much is that? What's 30 baht? 30 baht's $1.
90 cents. 90 cents. Yeah. It's like, I think it's, what is it, 34, 35 to 1? Something like that.
That's right.
But
it took a big dump today. Yeah, that was, and emotionally, guys, I'm excited. I'm giddy as a Girl Scout on Sunday selling my cookies.
A Girl Scout on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen.
Selling cookies.
Yes. The mints. God, those were great cookies, weren't they? I always bummed out, though, because I learned later on they're not made with real Girl Scouts. I was just like, can't you just, because I mean, let's face it, Soylent Green is made with people. So why couldn't I have the expectation that Girl Scout cookies would be made with real Girl Scouts?
They could have made in the sweatshops by Girl Scouts.
I hope so. I hope they were sweating. I thought that was why they were so moist. Now,
that's gross.
The documents that you gave them, just for clarification, obviously your passport.
Yes.
Vaccine card.
Ticket, because they do ask for the ticket.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, and your ticket.
So, immigration asks for your ticket, your flight in, not your return flight. They ask for the flight in. So save that piece of paper.
Yeah, they need to know what
my
vaccine card.
Vaccine card. I don't know if it's blurry, but you guys don't need to see all my info.
Yeah, right.
And then of course the magic book, which this USA passport, dude, is like gold.
Now,
and
my
passport's getting full, man.
Dude, I'll tell you what, dude, when I got one, I thought it would be someday I'm going to be just like 007, and I'm going to have stamps in like every single.
I got stamps and papers and pictures and.
Now, is that your God, TM6? Did they make you fill out a TM6 on the plane?
Great question, because
Yeah.
I did ask about that and they did not. So I didn't have to
Really?
fill out any. Nope. And then when I get through the
Wow.
immigration, there's one more part that says if you want to claim anything.
Yeah,
And
sure.
which, guys, don't make the mistake and say, yeah, I want to claim something. Just walk past it like you own the place and you're not claiming anything. No
Well,
one stops you.
yeah,
But
no
if you
reason.
walk and ask questions,
Yeah,
they
no game
point to
over.
that darn, they
Put it
point
in the
to that
X-ray
darn
machine.
line. Yep. Or
So
stand
there
in
is
line.
no more departure card for international travel entering Thailand as of basically, 2022, August, September kind of thing. That's very interesting.
Have to have one.
Because absolutely I had one when we left, which was earlier in the summer. And it's a big thing for the visa. Like every time I would need to update my visa, they'd be like, "Oh no, we need a picture of your departure card." And that friggin' number you would put on so many documents moving forward. So this is very interesting. And actually this is one neat thing about Thailand and the infamous learning experience that I think everybody in the world had, regardless of the size of the learning, over COVID, over the pandemic delta of, glacial movement of progress, really.
Yes.
And so now, and it's actually, if you think about it, it's a good thing, because if they're going to start to instantiate this tax that they put on tourists, which I think if they're smart, they'll just, integrate it into the price of your ticket, your price of your plane ticket. You won't even know. If you have to stand there at immigration and give them a certain amount of cash to enter the country, they're going to be like, yeah, so just urinated on the floor. Hopefully this $5 will clean that up for you, because that'll just be such a bummer.
If they do that, that would be so annoying.
It would be, because at the end of the day, you can charge me $50 for my plane ticket. I don't care if you tax me, because I'm coming into the country, dude, once I'm there. But if you nickel, I think that's something that potentially, and you and I, again, grew up or worked and basically got adulthood, through California. Mm-hmm. And I think, so you and I share, similar sort of, and I think nickel and diming me is the easiest way. I mean, that's what I love about Southwest Airlines. The price of the tickets arguably are kind of overpriced to get from point A to point B, but they're like, look, dude, bring one bag, bring two bags. Doesn't matter. They can each weigh 50 pounds. Whereas I show up in JetBlue, I'm all proud of myself that I got this smoking deal, and they're like, oh yeah, $68 for that bag. And I'm like, dude, you should have just charged me $68 more for the ticket. Now I am emotionally distracted by this silly little fee. So
anyway, what's crazy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is thinking of that real quick. I agree with you 100%. Is the whole nickel and diming. I flew United business class here to Thailand.
Yeah.
And you would think, man, everything's inclusive. Just relax, chill out. They wanted $10 more or $14 more to connect my phone to Wi-Fi. It's freaking mind-boggling.
You're joking.
Yeah, and it's not a cheap flight. This is
business
a $3,000 flight. Yes. You still had to pay for your darn Wi-Fi.
No, that's offensive.
It was actually.
You're like,
it was.
I mean, yeah, you used some points. You shared about that. You used points, but at the end of the day, you also shelled out some cash, and they don't really know. In other words, the average person that goes business class, arguably, they probably are business people, and they buy it within weeks, and they pay full fare. Their company pays for it.
Yeah.
So $14 is a rounding error when it comes to the cost of that. And
so that just bugs the heck out of me. I'm all about inclusive, and I know a lot of the watchers of my channel, that's one of the things I try to coach them on is, hey, you can do this. It isn't complicated. Well, now they got to think, oh, I want Wi-Fi. I want this, want that. Just provide it.
It's 2022. I mean, I remember I did this PowerPoint presentation, and it's to give you an idea how long ago it was. It was a PowerPoint presentation, but it was in the early 2000s. And the first slide in it are okay, these are the three things that you need to survive on the planet today: air, water, and the internet. You can even have, I even said to Gracie the other day, we were pulling out of, and I live in this area, it's very wooded, and I get it. And of course, no one wants a cell phone transmitter in their backyard, right? But I back out and I'm in, you know, the United States where we friggin' invented cell phones, and it's like I have like 3 bars on LTE, and I have a 5G phone, and I don't have that, and I'm like, I would rather have no electricity. I mean, obviously you need, you know, to charge batteries and that sort of thing, but the point is that do not limit my internet. That is ridiculous. And
why are you
so
guys doing that?
to do that on a and I mean, and again, and if they don't realize that people, because look at, I mean, you know, you're not 17 years old scraping your money
Put in my
together.
bill.
Exactly. Roll it in, dude. That's
Charge
just
me
amazing.
$10 more, $20 more. It's the same with hotels. I mean, it's like it kills me when a hotel doesn't include. So Bangkok hotels are good about including it. So I appreciate
Thailand
that.
hotels are good about that. And I mean, let's face it, that's the other thing too. You walk down the street in Thailand, you're like, okay, I can go to the 7-Eleven. Oh, look, True has Wi-Fi there. Oh, AIS also has Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm on the thing on BTS. I'm on the platform on BTS. You look up 3 plaques. There are 3 providers of free internet, not the least of which is Facebook. And then you get on the train and your phone never drops out. Which is good because you can listen to bkk.fm all day, every day. And the spot.fm. Tell your friends, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
So, okay, so you get to your hotel. Great. You woke up, what, this morning? Right?
Yep.
Or was that yesterday?
This morning.
Okay, so that was this morning. And give us, I mean, so you're back, and you've only been gone a week, okay?
Yeah.
But still, and you touched on it. We're going to talk about that on this show as well as our next few shows. What we're going to refer to as the Thailand Blues. Yes. And this is not
real.
It is real.
It's real, guys.
And guys, this is not to like get sympathy or empathy or whatever. I mean, you can give that to Robbie if you'd like. I give it to him all the time because I love him. But I know, shed a tear, baby, shed a tear. Because there's a reality of it. And a lot of, if you really twist it around to the correct way, I would submit to you, then you can use that as a motivator to do the next thing, do the next thing, do the next thing. Because let's say you're coming back to Thailand in 1 week or 1 month or 1 year, or for a lot of guys, I was telling you earlier, texting me now, Mike's, I finally made my flight. It's coming up in October. And this has literally been since October of 2019. They haven't been back.
That's right.
So you come back now. And what's like, this is obviously, what's like one of the first 3 things you did? You're in Bangkok. Your girlfriend's there, so you don't need to wait for her. So you're hanging out with her. You're in a hotel.
So I wake up.
Yeah, you wake up. First 3 things.
Yeah. So we'll say the first 3 things outside of work, because I do work remote, and that is how I'm able to have this lifestyle. So I did have to get up early to do work. But pretty much, I was so pumped up. I'd say the very first thing is get on the internet, right?
Right.
And then get outside and eat some darn street food.
Good for you.
Yeah, right in front here. The street food here is so different than it is in Manila. I'm not feeling like I'm getting salmonella, right?
Hey, that's probably why they call it that. Yeah, exactly.
But, so, really, I think it was just the surrounding noise. So I stay over here at Stadium Way or Stadium Exit BTS. So it's a bunch of big hotels at the Holiday Inn Express. And, you know, I'm like, Kitty, what are we going to do? Let's do something. And of course, we go and eat.
So, but hold on. By stadium, just for clarification, that means you stay at the National Stadium BTS stop. Yeah.
Great clarification. That is correct. Great, because there is more than one stadium. So it is the Stadium National BTS stop. Yep. So it's right across from their old big stadium, I guess.
Yeah. And you love the Holiday Inn there.
Yeah, and I will be posting a video about the reason why I choose the Holiday Inn, because it's super simple. It's easy. So if you're a first-time traveler or a traveler like myself, man, you're right here next to the station. Everything is right here. I see the 7-Eleven. I get excited. By the way, Mike, that was one of the first things looking for the. Yeah, I'm like, okay, 7-Eleven.
Right?
You know, everything's at a 7-Eleven.
Yes.
And it's cheap. And it's not like they're gouging you here. It's just, and everybody is friendly. And I'm looking forward to the guy at the hotel doing this. And I'm like, dude, I felt Thailand Blues just went away. I mean, it was beautiful. So that was the first 3 things I did, if I answered that correctly.
You did, and it's so funny too because I mean, when the hell have you ever been excited for a 7-Eleven in friggin' United States, right? It's just like it's a utility. I'm going to overpay because it's a convenience store, or if you're in the business, a C store, and you get what you need or whatever. But I mean, it's like, oh God, if you have to buy a gallon of milk at the 7-Eleven just because you need it, like right then, it's like crap. It's going to be like $8.
So is it really overpriced here in Thailand? Because man, I buy me milk here.
No.
Which is
I'm talking
crazy.
about the U.S. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah,
It's
US.
not. That's the beauty of it. The price of an item in 7-Eleven in Thailand is the exact same price that it is at Tops, that it is at Lotus, and it just it's fantastic.
Those are all the grocery stores.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Big C, that sort of thing. Also, department/grocery store. But it's neat that. And I know exactly what you mean, and I bet you there's guys watching this right now that could be thinking we're crazy that we actually want to go to a 7-Eleven, but B, I submit to you that the majority of the people watching, they're like, "Oh my God, dude, I know exactly how you feel." Like I landed in Thailand and I saw a 7-Eleven, and it was just like, "Oh, I'm home now." For some reason,
That's right. And then the next set of guys. So you mentioned the 2 set of guys, and then another set are the guys who haven't been here. Guys.
True.
Go into your 7-Elevens because you will be in love with it. You can hate it back in Texas, hate it in California,
right.
But you come here, you will be relieved.
You're
conditioning, fresh water, people saying, just whying you all the time. Like, gosh, this is great. You feel so welcome at a 7-Eleven. It's like I want to be next to 7-Eleven.
I don't know how you potentially got your first sim for Thailand. We can talk about that, but I'll just the reason I bring that up is the way I got mine. I didn't even know I needed one. The Thai person said, "Oh, you needed the sim." Okay, so they're like, "Oh, well, let's go to 7-Eleven," and I'm thinking, "Okay, well, we're gonna get something to drink, and then of course we're gonna go get a sim." So we go into 7-Eleven. She's like, "Oh, give me your phone." So I give her my phone. She says something to the person in Thai, and the only delta between then and now is that I would have to give him my passport as well because they got to register it. But she gives the person behind the counter at the register my phone. They open up the phone, take my old SIM out, put this new SIM in, register it, type stuff into the register, and then she's like, "Okay, you owe us basically like $10. You owe us like $300." And I leave now with a working cell phone. I fantasize about that level of customer service at a Verizon store in the United States.
Oh, good luck.
Because it doesn't exist. I got to wait in line. And here's the other thing. You talk about friendly people. It takes longer to like install a cell, and get this thing going so there's a line of people now backing up behind me that just want to buy a Twinkie or a Diet Coke or whatever. No one's complaining. I'm not getting any from the person behind me, which I absolutely get here in the United States if I'm buying more than 3 things and it's disrupting their speed. Yeah. So the friendliness. Let's talk a little bit about that, because arguably the people in the Philippines are pretty darn friendly, and especially your team, right? I mean, they're like, "Oh, boss." But try to describe the difference in friendliness, because it's
it doesn't feel like I need to be in a rush here. So if you travel to Bangkok or anywhere in Thailand, it's not about if you're somebody who's in a hurry, wherever you got to go, this is probably the wrong place for you. That's a personal opinion.
Yep. No, I agree.
I found myself being patient with driving in traffic.
Yes.
Standing in line, which there's not that many lines here in Thailand, at least not that I've run across
compared to the Philippines. I would agree with that.
Yeah, and people are genuinely smiling, and it's really endearing. It's just when they look at you, and you're a foreigner, right? You're outside. I'm a white, bald guy.
Can't relate.
Who's twice their size. Right. I mean, in width, I'm saying they're like, that is Papui, that guy's a big guy, right?
Yeah, right.
And then when they see that, they're just so gentle and nice, and it's not all about give me your money. And compared to Manila, running into beggars, I just didn't run into anything here. Not that they're not here,
sure,
but the friendliness of people. I mean, this is known for the land of smiles, isn't it? And that kind of like their motto.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the ways that people describe it. And you'll see people like typing and think the LOS, right? Land of Smiles.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. And that is from the moment you land.
Yeah.
The airline stewardesses, I mean, and just you guys, okay, can I go off a little bit?
Please,
Okay.
because you know I do
So
without even knowing it. So yes, please go.
this is a huge reason why I really love Thailand. I mean, and this has to do with what Mike just said, the friendliness. I'm in Manila, in Makati or Makati or
Makate,
whatever again. Yeah,
Robbie the
Makati.
Butcher. We need a sound bite. Robbie the Butcher.
There it is. Every time I do that, make one. Okay,
Drug
so
test.
I am over there. I'm in a restaurant over there, and it's called, I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and everybody's Asian, by the way, of course, because I'm like the only Falong or the only foreigner at this restaurant. And it's raining cats and dogs in Manila.
Right.
And these two people come in, a woman about 60 and her daughter, and I look at them, they look at me, and they smile, and they do this to me. They why me. They go
Wait,
like,
this is
"Oh,
in
you're
Manila?
Yeah, in Manila, in
Wow.
the restaurant." And I go, "You're Thai?" And I go, "Sawadee cup." And they look at me like,
Oh.
blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Where do you live? And how are you? And how long you here? I had a
Wow.
full 25-minute conversation with a
Awesome.
60-year-old woman and
Yeah.
her lovely daughter about where I live, where they live. And she lives in Koh Lan, an island just off, and it's a retirement home, not a retirement center, but she owns property or however that is in Koh Lan, which is a little island off Pattaya. And we
Oh.
had a, yeah, yeah. And I got their names and we ate, and this is how friendly, and man, I felt really good about that. And that was before I came home. So that tells you how friendly they are, guys. They talked to me, and I just said, "Saudi cup."
Oh yeah, no.
After
You
they
just
after
opened the
they did
door.
this,
Yes.
they did this, and their eyes are like, "You
So
speak
what do
Thai,
you
blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Oh no no, neat no,"
you know,
very
yeah, I
little.
know, Michael.
Uh,
What do you think motivated them? Because I mean, you're in Makati
oh,
and you're in
great.
a Asian I mean, we were in a Thai restaurant? Like what was the motivation for them to start?
No, I was in an American style diner right
Okay.
downtown.
Yeah.
It's a two-story or three-story little diner. Actually, it's pretty famous. It's so famous I remember the name.
Right.
But I've been there before, and it's a cool little place to get French fries and a milkshake. And they're
Okay.
there because the daughter, I believe, travels back and forth. I'm not sure. I mean, matter of fact, if she ends up subscribing to my channel, because I think the mom did,
Nice.
and she sees this video, she's going to comment, which would
That's
be kind of
great.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the mom did, because I helped her out.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I think what initiated it was the friendly smile. So when you make eye contact with them
Mhm.
and you smile, and it's from the guys too. I found that here with some of the
Mhm.
motorbike
Oh
riders. I'm
yeah.
like, and in Manila, again, Manila or the US, you can't just smile at anybody down the street because
Do you
it's way
know
different.
me? Who are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know me in America, and then
Right.
in Philippines, they're like, you're an alien. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
No, no,
So
no.
yeah, I hopefully that explained the friendliness of people, and that was the day before I was coming home. So, this Thailand blues this time wasn't nearly as bad because I was only gone for a week, but I had it for a week.
So that's interesting. I mean, first of all, you know what's if you guys don't know, one of the things that I really love about Robbie is his personality, but his luck. Robbie meets
I
and
love.
networks with people everywhere. Every
Yeah,
time you and I do not speak for at least 2 days, you come back with, oh yeah, and you just like tell me this. Oh yeah, so basically I get this condo in Jomtien, and I go over to Koh Larn about once a month, and now I know a lady that
yeah.
owns an entire resort over there, and she basically is going to buy me dinner. What,
That's gonna be awesome. I hope she does. That would
dude?
be sweet.
I mean, think of the video. We're gonna do a
Yeah,
live stream from her spot, obviously. Her
yeah. That
spot.
sounds
See what I did
personal.
just then? Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. That's all
yeah,
right. I mean,
personal.
well, it's not. I mean, you did Sawadee Crupper, so I mean, basically, she might owe you more than she knows about. That's all right though. I mean, we're very open minded here at the spot.
That's right. And she was a nice lady, but it was
Wow,
awesome. The people are great,
that's
and
great.
networking. I'm glad Mike brought that up. Another benefit of what I like about Thailand is the communication, and I know I'm going to be able to speak to somebody.
Yeah.
Shockingly, a lot of people love the Philippines because they speak English. Honestly, I found it to be more so here in Philippines. I mean, in Thailand.
That's a great point. And in fact, since we're talking about Bangkok today, right? So, because someone asked me that the other day, they're like, well, what about the language barrier? And I'm like, dude, Bangkok is an international city, okay? And even the motorbike drivers are going to know English. And to be fair, I know you and I were basically doing our best to like learn at least, one new Thai word maybe a day or whatever, and get the pronunciation, better kind of thing. And obviously, with Kitty in your life, you guys probably use new words and things. But I don't think that only knowing English, for example, is my point. In Bangkok, I don't think that's a problem at all.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with the fact that the language barrier is an excuse. I'm going to tell you guys now, I think it's an excuse to not, or fear. And again, this is the purpose of this morning show for the next several months until we end up launching something else, is really come over to Thailand. Where are you guys at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Mike always says, about not being here. Give us your tagline. I love hearing it all the time.
I mean, look, if I hope you're living the dream. I mean, truly, right? Yes. But if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. And
doing it wrong.
It's one thing to be able to say that, label it. It's one thing for you to say, hey guys, where are you at? But don't forget, like when Robbie publishes a video when he's living in California, the where are you at thing, it's not a derogatory label. It's like, where are you at? And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And then what we're going to do is when we come back, we're going to talk about like Robbie's process right now. Like he's in Bangkok, but he's already proactively planning to get back to Thailand. You're planning your next trip to Thailand while in Thailand.
Oh,
and I would argue that that's one of the ways to, once again, proactively prevent some of the Thailand blues. Because I'm sure you're having some separation anxiety. So
I am right now.
So, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this blam.
Stay tuned.
Hey, guys, this is Robbie from Walking in My Shoes. I'm with Kerwin GR Taxi Service in this luxury cab. Let's check it out. There's her information. She does speak English, and this is a beautiful car. She provides drinks for you, wet nap, all leather seating, super comfortable, luggage area, plenty of room for you and your friends. And again, she does speak English. Just say one or two words. Hello.
Hi everybody, I'm going taxi service car.
So guys, here is the cab I've taken. Very nice, brand new luxury vehicle. And price for this vehicle, for a luxury vehicle from Pattaya to the airport, you can get as low as 1,000 baht, but for luxury, you're gonna pay a little bit more for, up to 1,500 baht. Anyways, beautiful brand new car. There it is. Yep, beautiful car. Yes, so here's her information. So be sure to give her a call. She books through Facebook. I will also provide it in the links below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to The Spot, and let's get back to the show. Peace.
All right, guys, so welcome back. Thank you so much. And what we're going to do now, like we promised, is we're going to talk a little bit more about this whole Thailand blues thing that we kind of brought up and how Robbie is potentially proactively planning to not have the Thailand blues. So walk us through a little bit. I mean, you're in Bangkok right now. You're doing a ton of videos. And definitely you guys got to check out on YouTube, Walking in My Shoes Thailand, his YouTube channel. But tell me about some of the things you're doing right now to plan for your next trip back.
So I am going through the full planning process and kind of what that looks like. Excuse me. Man, I have my condo in Jomtien, as a lot of you guys might be aware of. And yeah. We got Thailand Blues right here, getting pretty good.
Good man.
So I have my condo in Jomtien, and it expires, meaning our lease runs out in February. So I'm actually looking at getting a 2-bedroom, 2-bath villa with a pool.
Yeah.
By the way, super cheap, guys. We're talking like 18,000 baht. We found one for 15
in Jomtien.
Pattaya. Yes, in Pattaya.
Okay.
One of the other options is coming to Bangkok. But anyway, some of the things I'm doing is I'm keeping proactive, as Mike said, having my ticket booked. The last time I came, I left, right? My plan was sell my car, which I did, my very expensive BMW. So,
Right.
excuse me, this next time, the plan is I'm still downsizing a lot of personal items that I don't need, honestly. And I don't have yard sales and garage sales. I give it away. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the headache to make $300 or $400 or $500. I'll probably I will go see my son. So I do have a 22-year-old. He turns 23 here in September.
He's on the East Coast?
So, yep, he is on the East Coast. So I will go out to Virginia, see him, and try and drag him out to Thailand this November.
Yeah, right. Good.
So I'm only gone for 2 months. It sounds like a long time, but I'm only away from Thailand for 2 months. I do talk to Kitty every day. I have a lot of people here in Bangkok that I speak with, or Bangkok in Thailand. So, having my ticket booked is really the first step. Having your plane ticket booked, ready to go. Mike, I can't tell how much that's important. I mean,
when you were
no excuses.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, and then the other nice thing too is that the earlier you book it, traditionally, the better deal you get, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even about the deal, guys, but yeah, Mike's absolutely correct. For me, it wasn't about the deal, but I knew mentally, if I have something done that I'm accountable to, I show up.
Yeah.
Because honestly, guys, the Thailand Blues, or the Bangkok Blues as titled above, it's a real thing. It's you're depressed, and it's instant, and it happens to everybody. These guys just say, no, I don't know. No, then they really haven't experienced what I like to call the Pattaya experience.
They right. They haven't had the It's, I mean, look, again, like I said, there are people that I think that watch this show regularly. And of course, they sort of have for the sake of argument, we'll call it similar bias that we have. But even, 10 years in for me, and then now almost you're in like year 3.
2019 was my first trip.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, there are certain things that you pick up along the way. But what's crazy is, maybe this happened to you just recently, is, you fly back into Bangkok, and then I end up doing something. I'm like, I had no idea. Like, have you heard of the green lung of Thailand?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So if you look at a map of Bangkok, actually, so to be fair, I don't know if it's referred to as the green lung of Thailand or as the green lung of Bangkok. For the sake of argument, let's say it's called the green lung of Bangkok. The reason they call it that is because, as you know, trees in the evening, right, will produce oxygen, right? And then, they absorb the carbon dioxide, and it's photosynthesis. So there is effectively an island in the center of Bangkok. If you look at where the Chao Phraya River comes down, right, and it goes around this thing, and then it goes back, and then it goes down to like the Sea of Thailand, basically. In the middle, there is an island that the king years ago basically had constructed. He had the Chao Phraya routed around it.
Wow.
And it's technically an island in the sense that there's like this bridge, but you could almost like literally walk through the water to get over to this thing. But it is 100% the king's land. Now, technically, so is all of Thailand. But at the end of the day, it's called Bang Kachao. And Bang Kachao has, even if you're a Thai person, you can't own the land there. It's all leased land. And you can get to it pretty much the easiest way is if you keep going south on BTS. Like, how like I'm down in Punawiti, where Kitty used to live. If you go Punawiti, if you go a few more, which is nice pronunciation, Butcher. Good job, guy. You're getting it. You go down to Bang Na. And so from Punawiti, it's Udam Suk and then Bang Na. And from Bang Na, you can take like a Song Tao all the way west, which is like, maybe a mile. And then you take these little ferries over to Bang Kachao, and you can rent bikes over there and that sort of thing. And it's a really cool like date day. And I had no idea. And the way I found out about it, as we relate to networking, is I'm taking this Airbnb. The guy takes us upstairs. He's awesome. And he's like, oh, yeah, so from here you can see the green lung of Thailand. And, of course, he says that. And I'm like, you mean like lung cancer? Like, I mean, I know the air quality's not that great. Like, what are you talking about? And he says, no, it's Bang Kok Chau. You take the video. And then I've had other friends that have, like, taken bikes over there. So I don't know if Kitty knows that. I mean, again, she grew up. She lived near Punawiti, which is, like, you know, arguably sort of the... I don't know, lower Sukhumvit, if you will, that some people might refer to it as. But
25 years.
Yeah. So I'm, and again, you know, as a Thai person, she probably knows of the green lung. But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, there's trees and there's these little paths. So you rent a bike because they basically have these raised sidewalks, like concrete little, yeah. And it's because it's all marsh sort of, right? I mean, arguably what Bangkok used to be everywhere. But then they put in, you know, modernization. But over there, they have these little, you know, and people like live off of these sidewalks. So there's like a little wooden path off the sidewalk that goes to a house that's also on stilts, you know, and, you know, you ride down these sidewalks and sometimes there's like, you know, a motorbike coming the other way and you guys got to slow down and like, because they don't necessarily have like a lip on it. So you'd like fall right off the sidewalk into the freaking swamp.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, it's just so neat, dude, because again, you do that and then you can get some awesome street food. And then 20 minutes later, you can take the BTFs up to Siam Paragon and buy yourself a friggin' Bentley on the 6th floor. So, I mean, you know, it's got all of that, you know, together. Is there anything that you're like, oh, I gotta do this in Bangkok before I leave Saturday?
Wow. You know, because that's such a loaded question.
So
my gotta do's is I'm with.
I mean,
Kitty.
other than Obsession Bar in Nana Plaza, I totally
yeah. There you go. There you go.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it.
Right. You guys should ask Mike about it. Just send a question right now. He'll be more than happy to. You know, right now, type it in the bar.
What is he talking about, Mike? And oh well, here's this selfie of Robbie and I.
Yeah, there's selfie. So the things I gotta do, of course, I'm spending time with Kitty, is I want to get as much flavor of Thailand, but Bangkok specifically. And I'm shooting lots of video, guys. I don't even know if my video is going to come out YouTube ready. I'm have a lot of B-roll, let's put it that way. And I'm just kind of obsessing about just everywhere around here, how quick it is to travel from A to B and how you can be so totally lost and be able to get back like that. There's no fear here. So I love being by myself. I love just traveling by myself. Get a quarter and take a bus and see how far it goes.
Right.
Well,
there you go.
Can't do that for a quarter now. But I am planning on shooting these videos and hopefully you guys will like it. I'll be shooting a 5-minute video for each BTS stop.
Nice. Smart.
That's right. I will be doing that soon, guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. So the BTS is the Bangkok Transit System, I think it's called.
Yeah, it's a SkyTrain. If people don't, there's a subway, and then there's the SkyTrain, which is, you know, yeah.
So I had to ride the SkyTrain, guys. I mean, so there it is. I know it sounds like a total geek thing, but I love the SkyTrain.
Yeah, me too.
I love the Siam Paragon, and then that intersection. They call it the transportation intersection or something like that.
The interchange.
It's on the map. Yes, with all the Sukhumvit and then the other road, and just you can go anywhere pretty much in Bangkok. So I had to do it, and so we did it.
Okay. So how many stops did you? I mean, dude, there's 37 on the Sukhumvit line.
Well, we didn't stop on all those. No, I mean, what I did is I toured that whole transportation corridor area of Bangkok. Okay. So I do have video coming up that's going to have the SkyTrain. It's going to have me going into different malls, just on those 4 or 5 exits and trying street food. And it's going to be Bangkok at night.
Very cool.
So and to me, you guys, if you've never traveled here or you're coming back, see, my first time coming here, I didn't do it. I went straight to Pattaya, and I mean, if that's your jam, go for it. But I recommend 1 or 2 days, do the Bangkok thing, and that's what's going to be on my video is reliving that.
Yeah,
and it helps. And it helps my Bangkok blues because I love Bangkok. It's a great city. Great city.
Okay, so you said
So.
you get on a bus for a quarter, which you can't do anymore. So I quickly typed in,
Yeah.
0.25, right, US dollars to Thai baht, which is about 9 baht right now. So for the sake of argument, we'll call it 10 baht. And I can tell you right now, you say to Kitty, hey, Kitty, what bus can we get on for 10 baht? And she'll be like, all of them. So, and if have you taken a Thai bus before? Like no air conditioning?
Not that one. I've taken the one with air conditioning to Pattaya.
So I'll tell you, I felt like a true Bangkokian when I was able to get on because they do not speak English at all.
Oh, I'm doing it tomorrow.
And
Let's
the floors, dude, they're made out of wood. It's freaking awesome. And you get on there and there's this person and they have this metal container and it's filled with change because most people pay with change. Whereas on like the A1, for example, you can even pay with your Rabbit card, right? You can just, boop, you can do a QR code or RFID because it's coming from the airport. It's more international. But the local Thai buses, and definitely do the ones without air conditioning, it's so friggin' awesome. And they carry around this thing and they walk up and down the aisle and they're like, ching, 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 ching. And somehow, I mean, I get it. We're white, tall foreigners, right? So they're like, okay, he's new on the bus. But they know every new person that just got on the bus at the last stop. And it could be filled, like 20 people, and they go up to the person that's new. And I'm like, how do you know this? Like, it's just amazing to me to watch. But, dude, you take the Thai buses and you navigate. Doing it. You are going to be like, I am Thailand Robbie. Like,
would that make for a good video? That would make for a good video, right?
I will tell you that I think so because, I mean, I find stuff like that. I mean, again, after you've done, the Grand Palace and the reclining Buddha and all of that, which are awesome. Please, we both
must-dos.
Highly encourage you to do that. But once you start like cruising around, because there are absolutely some spots in Bangkok that you cannot get to from BTS or MRT. And but yeah, dude, the buses. And to be fair, you are like right down the street from this giant rotary. Where okay, all right, so you know how like there's a train station, right? And all the trains come in. This is an area where like all of the buses, and it's literally 2 stops away from where you're at. And
right now?
Yeah, and I'm totally spacing on the name. In fact, bring Kitty over and ask her what's the rotary with the giant statue in the middle where or is she asleep? She's on her phone. She's asleep.
Yes, she's out.
Man,
I'm looking at her right now. She's out. And I know exactly which rotary area you're talking about.
Do you know?
It's by the flower market. And I know of it, and you're right. It's only a few stops down because of one of the BTSs go right around it.
Yeah, I'm trying to, and I know all I got to do is like look at the thing, but look at the map because it's really, really cool. Victory Monument is the name of the monument. So Victory Monument, and the cool thing, so you're at Siam basically, but you're at National Stadium, which for clarification. One, it is the end of the Siloam line, which if you look at is usually the dark green, and then the light green being the Sukhumvit line. They both meet at Siam, where he's talking about, which is amazing. How many malls do you think are at Siam? Is it like 6?
6. Yeah, great guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about Victory Monument that you guys would probably know is if you've ever taken the BTS from the airport to come into... Sorry. If you've ever taken airport rail link from the Suvarnabhumi airport, clarify, then you take it basically all the way to the end, which is Payatai. And Payatai is only 1 station away from Victory Monument. And so you get all the buses there. And and
transporting that way is super simple. It sounds confusing,
right?
But it's super cheap. You go to the end. You go from the end, then you're on the line to Siam, and there you are.
Wait, what time did you get in last night? To Don Juan? 8:40, you said, or was it 9?
Yeah.
8:40.
8:40-ish.
Do you know of the red line? The new dark red line?
Yeah, I know of it. I didn't know how to get there right away, and I knew the bus system.
Okay, No, I completely agree, and I would argue.
And I was on Ativan, so I wasn't. I was a little drugged up.
So there was that. Yeah, so that's kind of a deterrent. I get it.
Yeah, I was kind of I guess they call it stoned out of your freaking mind. I was pretty much out.
I mean, look, I think that, and I can tell you, I've talked to pilots too, and they've said, look, pilots hate turbulence, you know, because I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you just get used to? And quite I am like, I'm literally used to turbulence happens, and I'm like, okay, well, and the other thing too is that I'm a friggin' geeky engineer, and I'm like, I know precisely the reason this turbulence is occurring, and it's not like the plane is going to fly. They design the entire fuselage to flex. Like this is not. Still, logic and emotion don't necessarily, you know.
Yeah, you're scaring me right now. You
No,
say
no,
it's
no, no.
designed to flex.
It's
until
designed.
You crack open like an egg, and
like
all the people fall out.
Right. No, it's not like in the movies. Thank goodness.
All the people start falling out of the middle of the plane. Oh, man.
How much comparing did you do when you were? Because you're in Manila. You were effectively in Manila, which again, to be fair, saying that you were in the Philippines and then saying Manila is not the Philippines. The Philippines,
it's definitely not.
Is the place to go to vacation, to go to the beaches, or to potentially go way away from Manila. Manila is a very big city, and it's disgusting in about 90% of the places, and unsafe. How much comparing did you do? Like literally from the moment you landed, like did it take a couple of days in Manila to be like, you know what? We don't have this nonsense in Bangkok.
Yeah, unfortunately, and it did take a subscriber to call me out on it, and he didn't know he did it, I don't think. But essentially what happened was a subscriber said, hey, I'm happy you're doing a Philippine video, but please don't compare. And that resonated with me because that was one of my goals. Hey, I'm going to compare it. Why did I choose Bangkok over, or why did I choose Thailand over the Philippines? So I've had to change my tune on that. I'm comparing everything. We all do. Yeah. But, you know, you got to experience both to be able to compare it, first of all. But you're only comparing the big cities, like Mike just said.
Sure.
It's, you know, I haven't been to Cebu. I haven't been to all the different places. And heck, my condo's in Jomtien, which is not that close to Bangkok. It's 2.5 hours away. And, you know, but comparing it to Bangkok, because that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Definitely I did comparison. Every single stoplight, bump on the road, the cars.
Really?
I took a jeepney. By the way, I took a jeepney, which I compare it to the bot bus, which the bot
How
bus
did you
isn't
fit?
In Bangkok. Dude, watch my video and you're gonna see.
Did you hit your head?
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And that video is supposed to be released today, so
okay,
you're gonna
great.
See that?
Good.
I compared street food and the odor. Oh my gosh, the odor of the town of Manila is it's really tough. And I was in Manila Metro, so it wasn't like I was in the bad area. The street foods, the malls. So I went to the Mall of Asia, which is supposedly the largest mall.
It is. Yeah.
And it's big, but it's not glamorous.
No.
It's not like Siam. It's a basic white floored, white walled type mall. There's nothing special. I was really disappointed on it.
It's just physically enormous.
Yeah, it's physically enormous. It was beautiful that it was packed. Lots of people. Okay. The Philippine people are very family and oriented and beautiful. I loved it.
Yes. Good.
But man,
I'm glad you mentioned
it. How do you compare? It's really, you can't, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then until I can travel to like El Nido or Cebu or something like that, I really can't compare. Where would I live? I haven't been there. So I can tell you I don't like crime and I don't like earthquakes. So there you go.
It's we were having this discussion at dinner the other night, actually, Gracie and I with my parents, about the natural disasters effect that they have there. And I remember, and Gracie's made comments like, when we were little kids, we had like one typhoon every 6-7 years. And now we have 6 or 7 per year. And the flooding is, very real. I would say that the number of floods we have is 2 to 3 times more just in the time that I've known Gracie. To be fair, where we have our house now, where we've had it for the last 4 or 5 years, I think, almost 5 years now, she didn't live there before. And where she lived was, in a farm, which, of course, is at the top of a hill. So, of course, there's no flooding. But I mean, I think one of the things that Robbie mentioned, which is, you know, the modernization, right? So in other words, there's Siam Paragon, which if people don't know,
Yeah.
it's one of the most beautiful malls in the world. It is not
Gosh, amazing.
the newest mall in Thailand. There is, oh God, I just forgot the name of it. What's the one way over? We really can't do these videos when Kitty is asleep because I have so many
We
Thai
need
questions.
her.
We need data. There's a new mall anyway, and I hate that I forgot the name of it. Hopefully, someone will remember. Put it in the comments. But I mean, and there's this new mall that's going in, which is again south of Punawiti. Because if you guys don't know, like the way that there's like the city center, right, of Bangkok, arguably where Robbie is right now, from where he is right now around Siam, all the way south to approximately Prakanong, which Asok, Prom Pong. You know, where he's saying that these are just
that's where I went today. Yep.
yeah, amazing malls, right? You cruised over to Emporium, right, in Quartier. And so it just keeps expanding south, right? So before, like the furthest you'd ever go out of Thailand on the BTS would be On Nut, right? And then now it's like Udam Suk, and then it's going to be, you know, Bering and that sort of thing. Well, they're making the Bangkok Mall. And that is basically between Udam Suk and Bang Na. And it is 2 kilometers long. And it's going to have a roller coaster.
Wow.
And yeah. And people are like, oh, yeah, brick and mortar is dead. And I'm like, go to a mall in Bangkok. I mean, dude, when you went to Court, I mean, packed. There's a line to get in, you know?
Packed.
And what's crazy, though, right? It's packed, but how quiet is it, right? Compared to like a Filipino mall?
Yeah.
The Filipino malls, I mean, because they have concerts in there. Every store's got their stereo blast. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Now, I'll be curious, just out of curiosity, do you happen to know, now, the person on your channel that made that comment about you shouldn't do a comparison, do you think that they were referring to you shouldn't compare a city to an entire country? Is that more where they were going with it?
It was a Philippine person who said, I live in the Philippines. I just subscribed here. And, you know, and I really, so I read my comments and I respond to every single one.
Right.
And I took that one really to heart. And, you know, and I don't want to be critical of a country or a place.
Sure.
It's your country.
Yeah.
Everybody has their reasons, period. You know, Philippines is beautiful. A huge expat community.
Yeah.
Huge. But I wasn't in that place where they're at. I'm in a place, Metro Manila, where businesses are at, because I'm having a business conference.
Right.
And then I'm going to downtown Manila, and it's, sorry guys, it's not Bangkok. I love modern. I love my phone working.
Yeah.
I love that I can get around like that here in Thailand, and I do not speak Thai. So,
to the modern thing, talk to me about other things that you've found that so as a comparison, I mean, you're from Pismo Beach. I'm from San Diego, where literally the cell phone was invented by Qualcomm. And so, I mean, fairly modern, but, you know, I mean, we've got this adorable little trolley in San Diego, you know, so it's not like it's this high-speed rail or anything. Getting around in a bus. I used to commute from Coronado to my job at the University of San Diego, and the drive would take me 12 minutes. To take public transportation to do that, it would take me almost an hour and 45 minutes. So you think, and it's the same distance, it's transfer and all this. So tell me some things that, like, just over the last, and again, let's say for the sake of argument, you've been to Thailand back and forth for 3 years. What are some of the things that you initially, or that you've recently found to be modern, more modern in Bangkok versus, say, Pismo Beach? Or maybe let's put Jomtien in that category too, because you obviously have a lot of knowledge of down there.
Yeah, definitely a lot of knowledge of Jomtien because it's such an easy way to remember how their transportation works. So I've always had a fear of public transportation, like most people. You don't know what you don't know, and the fact that there's a language barrier. I mean, this is a city that everything is done in English as well as Thai and a lot of Chinese. But I would say English is, you know, the second language.
Agreed.
And the fact that you can go to your mobile phone, download the BTS app, see when that BTS is going to arrive, see when the last one left, all in English.
And it's accurate.
And it's accurate. And you can do this as a visitor. You don't need to have the Rabbit card installed or whatever the different elements are for paying and all that. You don't need to have that. You simply go up to the counter and you say, I want to go here, and you have your ticket right in front of you from a live person. Or you can go to the kiosk, which is done in English with maybe one person in front of you. You push in where you want to go, and your ticket is done. The fact, I think, where the real technology comes in is it's so organized. In my opinion, it's like organized chaos.
Yeah.
If you don't make the BTS, you got the MRT, you got the bus, then you got this amazing app called Bolt. I could be a salesman for that darn app.
Yeah.
The Bolt is just a free app. It's a cash app, meaning you don't connect your credit card. And I pretty much say, I want to go here, and 24/7, somebody's going to come pick me up and not gouge me.
Yeah, true. Now, to be fair, obviously you have Uber in Pismo Beach, right? I mean, you have transportation at, what do they call it? Ride sharing, right?
At a huge price. So that's great that you mentioned that, because Uber is very, very expensive. Whereas Bolt, their version of Uber, is it's insanely cheap. I don't know how they make it.
Why don't you use Grab?
Grab here in Thailand?
Yeah.
I never knew I see Grab drivers, but not the cars. I've never known they had the cars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you don't know, I mean, historically, Uber was in Bangkok. Grab bought them out. And, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, Grab is the Uber of Asia. And it's like, well, no, Uber is actually the Grab of America. Grab is enormous. It's also pretty much as big as Didi in China. But Grab does so much. In fact, I think they call their app the Mega app or the Awesome app or something. The point is that you can get a Grab driver, you can get Grab food, you can get Grab groceries, you can get, and soon, hopefully, if
I have the app now.
Play my cards right, you'll be able to get Grab laundry. But the reason actually I don't use Bolt is because of the cash thing. And to your point, or our point really, about modernization, I never pay cash anymore at a 7-Eleven. I just use a QR code. I just boop, and it immediately withdraws it. My BTS, and again, I live in Bangkok a lot more permanently than Robbie does for now.
Right.
But I have a Rabbit card, and it's an RFID card that I got years ago that just allows me to boop, to get into the BTS. Yeah. I can also use it at McDonald's. I can use it at all these other places. But I like the fact that it auto. So why do you? Do you carry around a significant amount of cash still in Thailand?
No. So I use my Wise card.
Ah, got it.
Yeah, that I pretty much do all my exchanges. All the restaurants use that. I do carry some cash, but not. I'll carry maybe 5,000 baht.
Yeah.
So what is that? $150.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's what I carry around in America if I carry cash anymore. It's just because if you go to a restaurant or you want to get a 7-Eleven, I can just easily do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I just thought of something. So we were recently, we're here in the US. And so we recently went to, Niagara Falls. And we went on tours and stuff, and you pay an amount, but then there's the expectation that you're going to give them a tip of 20%. And if that's the way you do things here.
Oh man!
Go to a restaurant, you give 20% tip, blah 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 blah. Well, I am so Thailand that I literally completely forgot that you tip people, and so I'm like, we already paid $220 to go on this tour, and so they expect $40, for a tip, and I'm going to give that to the driver. And so, of course, at the time, I just thought, oh, yeah, that's just so silly. Who the hell would do that? Well, and so I did it later. But the point is that I am so out of the habit of tipping to the point where it bothers me. The paradigm of tipping I just find to be so archaic. And in Thailand, I don't know about you, but my experience is I get a bill, let's say from a restaurant for the sake of argument, and I give them a tip, but it's basically just like me giving, someone a couple bucks. It's not based on the price of the meal. It's not a 20% uplift,
It's 20 baht. That's what I was told to give.
And do you believe that that is almost a more modern behavior now that we're over there versus like what we do in California?
I think it's extremely more modern.
Seems it, right? Okay.
I think it's extremely, and maybe you can call me cheap, whatever.
Mm.
So a lot of the restaurants have the VAT plus a service charge
True.
attached to it.
I forgot about
And
that.
then I leave my change, so meaning the coins and 20 baht. Now, Kitty is a Thai person. I asked her, what do you expect and what do people leave? She goes, do
Right.
not leave more than 20.
Oh,
You don't need, yeah, and she even said you don't need to leave anything more than 20. That's just the way it is.
okay.
And she mentioned something about respect, and I don't understand what that meant by that, but I need to ask her about if I leave too much. And she said, don't leave too much. So,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, obviously you didn't clarify it for her. I've heard sometimes that depending upon the restaurant, if you're in Bangkok and you're at, say, like a so there's that pretty famous Argentine beef place. It's right across from it's at Soak. It's right across the street from Terminal 21.
Mhm.
And if you're there, it's kind of like a Western experience, right? And you're going to pay like 2,000 or 3,000 baht, for your party, to have. And they give you like a piece of beef nonstop, and you just keep taking it, right? And so I guess there apparently they have the expectation of like 10 to 20% tip because it is
What?
West, yeah,
Oh.
which is Western. But my experience is more like yours. It's very common. I just give them I usually give them all of the change because I don't particularly want to carry change, or I'll give them like a 20 baht or a 50 baht bill. But to the respect thing, I had heard that if you're, especially if you're out of the big city, right, and you're down in a non-foreign, place, and arguably that could
Yes.
be, your local restaurants there in Jomtien, to give someone a tip is actually disrespectful. Have you come across that statement at all?
I have one time, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And that's when I first figured out that this was a tipless society.
Yeah, right.
Meaning they don't expect a tip. And the uncomfortable thing was you're saying somebody's poor and they can't take care of themselves or something like that. They're
Right.
not asking you for a handout.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, you're in Pattaya, Jomtien, you're going to find a lot of people they need the money. They're going to take it, whatever. But I'm not always in those places. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So is this our good time for our little you got that?
Sounds great. Yeah, we're going to take another
Let's
really
do it.
quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up. And obviously, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for participating because this is a premiere. But also, please, on either of our channels as well as The Spot, please go to youtube.com and search for The Spot Thailand. We would love
Yes,
you guys to subscribe. There will be a URL that you can click on that is in the live chat as part of this premiere. And there will also be a link in the description where you guys to go to The Spot. Because as you know, this is our new thing that we're embarking on. So, but for right now, Robbie and I can take a quick break. We'll be right back.
What if you could feel healthier, fitter, have a better complexion, and more energy in just under 6 days, guaranteed? What if you had nutrition and health experts personally designing your diet? What if taking care of your skin was simple? What if losing weight was simple? What if a detox was deliciously, simple? Lifestyle Juicery made the simple happen. With dozens of raw fruits and vegetables ready to be cold pressed and delivered right to you. A juice so awesome and fresh, it's made every day just for you. Uncomplicate your nutrition. Drink in raw, cold-pressed Lifestyle Juicery. LifestyleJuicery.com. Raw, cold-pressed, delivered.
So, yeah, so LifestyleJuicery.com, it's a friend of mine who's the CEO of that company, and I love to talk about his products. If you are in Bangkok, free delivery, so LifestyleJuicery.com. If you are in Pattaya and Jomtien, they absolutely deliver down there. It's an additional charge, and simply all they do is they put a guy with a basically a refrigerated container. He takes it on the air-conditioned bus, which if you've ever taken, it's a freezing cold bus, and he takes that down to Jomtien and Pattaya. So I just wanted to shout out those guys. Jamie is a really, really good friend, and he's a advertiser to the program, and someone who I definitely recommend if you're spending some time in Bangkok or Thailand for that matter, and you really like fresh squeezed juice with vegetables and everything. Definitely go for it. As well as Robbie's friend who basically has a taxi service. And now that taxi service, to be clear, that's the taxi service you basically take when you go to or from the Pattaya area to Bangkok. Is that right?
Correct. And I do highly recommend it because when you get off that airplane, especially if you have Bangkok Blues, you're not feeling great. It's a long flight. Her car is extremely, extremely comfortable.
Right.
And it's worth paying that. You know, you can take the bus for 140 baht. Now they raised the price. Or you can take the cab, which she has one for as low as 1,000. Or I pay the extra 300 and get that limousine treatment where you got your drinks and you can lay out on that and sleep. But
it's nice. Yeah. And obviously, like you said, when you make reservations, the person speaks English. So that's, you know, real helpful for guys. She speaks enough English where, again, after a 12 to 18-hour flight, you're like, look, I totally want to learn your language and I love being in your country, but just get me where I need to go, please.
Get me no stops. And then she holds your name up at the airport. So she's there with your name.
Cool experience.
Says your name.
Right.
And you feel like you're living the dream. Right? Because if you're not living. Yeah.
Indeed.
Exactly. You're not living. So
well, this has been great. First of all, welcome back to Bangkok, my friend, because I know how that must feel. And and again, guys, you know, we're doing this show and we're trying to bring, we're bringing Bangkok to you. We're bringing Thailand to you. We're bringing Jomtien. We're bringing Pattaya. We're bringing Koh Samui, all of it to you guys. And we're doing it via the spot. Obviously, we're streaming this on our own personal, you know, businesses, if you will, our own, you know, YouTube channels, which for Robbie is Walking in My Shoes and for me is Live My Ass Off. But I just wanted to kind of give, you know, in the last like few minutes here, why don't you sort of, you know, just give us a summary of what you think about, you know, Bangkok now that you've been gone just a week. Like, what was, I mean, what's it like to be back, man?
So, yeah, it's like coming home. I mean,
nice.
That's straight up my plan since 2019 when I left after a 2-month stay, that this was going to be my home.
Right.
And somebody who doesn't care about the big city, dude, or guys, whatever, whoever's watching this, I love Bangkok. I'm not saying I'm going to move to Bangkok, but it's on my top 3 places that I will be living permanently. And permanent for me as an expat will be, I'm going to live here for a year, go to Jomtien for a year, go to Chiang Mai for a year. So please don't misunderstand. I'm not going to buy some big giant house or something, but it would be nice to have a condominium permanently here in Bangkok because it is the travel hub of all of Asia.
Basically.
So I am so blessed to be back and excited to be back. And at 50 plus years old, I wish I didn't wait too long to have this experience. So.
I agree. Yeah, I haven't been kicking myself. And again, I'm not a regrets guy. You don't seem to be either. But, you know, you look back and you think, yeah, you know, maybe I could have made some different decisions along the way.
Yes.
But with that, we're going to leave it on an absolutely positive note, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. And on behalf of Live My Ass Off, I hope you're living the dream. Because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. And
that's right.
On behalf of Walking in My Shoes.
That's right. Walking My Shoes Thailand. Make sure you put Thailand in there.
Thank you.
Where are you guys at? And remember to always, always, always live your best life. Go where you're treated best. Because again, if you're not living. That's it.
Talk to you soon, guys. Boom. Oh, boom. Okay, wait. I think I did it right. I'm going to figure this technology out. Look at that.
That's it, buddy. All right,
Genius. Guys. Talk to you soon. Ciao.
We're out.